If you're here to watch a video of this guy and this guy talking about a game called Skeptics by USAC Games. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. So I'm the ever-excitable Adam.
I am the eternally intolerable Alex. Hello.
And we're here for the next, 3 to 5 minutes to say what we thought of Skeptics. Now, this is a kind of first impressions video rather than review video because we've only played this a couple of times. The first time you played it?
First time I played it.
2 times today?
Yeah.
I played it solo a couple of times, and this is the first time I played it multiplayer. And first time I played it with a different ghost, but I've yet to play it on the other side of the map. So museum next time maybe. So, first impression video, tell me 2 things you didn't like about this game.
2 things I didn't like about the game. I'm actually struggling to find 2 things I didn't like.
I'll start and beat you. Just get out there. The dice rolls. So we are die rolling. And I do like rolling dice in a board game. If you don't like dice rolling, this is a game you are not going to like at all, and you should steer clear from it. I'd say that's a fair thing, right? If you don't like dice rolling, this game is definitely not for you. What I didn't like about the dice rolling, though, is there wasn't many, for this particular ghost, there wasn't many ways to mitigate the fact you got blank rolls on your summon dice. And you needed 2 or 3 summon, I think if there was at least 1 more symbol on that summon dice, it would be a bit easy. But obviously, they have playtested this game to death, so they do have a balancing. They balance this, they know what they're doing, I hope. But yeah, from my side, that was one negative thing about this. On that second game we played today, the one we filmed, which you can find the gameplay video for, I found that was really tough. Like, I got to a point where I only had 2 summon dice. We had that card coming out, which meant you got -1 summon dice, and it just I kind of felt like there's not much I could do. I was just kind of helping you, which was helping us, but just trying to kind of aid you to get to where we needed to be. That's one thing I didn't like about this particular playthrough we did. Have you got anything yet?
I have actually. Ones I don't like the ghosts. They were really mean. No, I'm joking. The one thing I didn't like was the seance. The fact is, you spend the whole game collecting those sort of tokens to form science, and you can only do it once. I mean, surely if you collect 5 tokens, surely you could do it, like, say, for every 3 you could do it once. You see what I mean? So you could. I thought if we'd been allowed to do it again, things might have been a little bit different. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that was a little bit not pointless, just a little bit kind of against this. I was like, okay, so you know what I'm saying.
We really screwed when all the doors closed as well.
That that was, I wouldn't say, to be fair, I think we were finished off anyway. That was just the icing on the cake, which is funny because those bright green doors actually look like icing.
So that's okay, that's one thing I didn't like so much as well, I'm going to say, I put out there. The doors themselves, I thought that, like, putting cubes on the board. So, let me rewind back. I think this game is very thematic. The components are really nice in this game. There's a lot of fine touches put to this game, but I think the little green kind of wooden, what were they?
Cubes,
rectangles. They're rectangles, aren't they? They're not cubes.
The doors.
The doors.
Oh, the doors. Yeah, they're like little. Yeah. Like
what's that shape called?
It's like a.
What's it called? It's an oblong? No, it's a 4D thing, 2D thing. Oh God, I'm an idiot.
The rectangular version of a cube.
Yes, rectanguloid. The rectanguloids in this, I just kind of felt detracted a little bit from it. Like, if they were actually, like, door tokens. I mean, it's easier to see, looking at the board, it's easy to go, oh, I know where the doors are because they're all green. But it kind of takes away a bit from the really nice artwork they've got in that, and the really nice kind of thing. You are like, oh, this is, they're just these green kind of rectanguloids that are on the board. That's my only kind of criticism about component-wise from this. So there's 2 things I didn't like about this. Have you got anything, or is that you done?
No, I kind of, for me, it's not nothing against the game. I think it was just literally the angle I was playing it at. I've got pretty good eyesight, so I can't really blame my eyesight. Sometimes I found it quite clear where the rooms were. There's a part in the corner where room 19 and 20, although there is a line, because there's a lot of tokens on the board, when the tokens kind of cover up the line, I find it difficult to keep track of where things are. Okay. Also, I find it quite difficult to find, like, when we were saying, the ghost is going to come out on, say, 19, for example, or 7, it's quite difficult finding the extra numbers. It wasn't quite clear enough to find it quickly enough. But, hey, a lot of games are like that, so it's not a big deal. No big deal.
No big deal. So let's talk about the big deals in this game. 2 things that we liked about this game. I'm going to go first. I'm going to beat you to it once more. I'm going to say the theme of this game. This was a very unique theme. I really enjoyed the idea that we were paranormal investigators going inside this asylum, trying to prove the existence of this ghost. And obviously, you know the ghost is real yourself because you're in there trying to you're seeing this ghost, but you need to prove it to everybody else by getting photos and all the other kind of stuff that paranormal investigators do. So from a theme point, I thought it was really interesting. I've not seen a game out there I've seen games which you're trying to stop monsters. But I've not seen ones where you're trying to prove the existence of the paranormal. It's an interesting thing that I think is quite under kind of represented in board games, in my knowledge anyway, because I've played at least 2 board games in my life, and I've never come across one which is the exact theme. It's similar in gameplay mechanics to Elder Sign, I think, but it's it's different enough that you could actually own both these things in your collection. Another thing I'd say that I liked about it is the gameplay. I quite enjoyed it. I enjoyed it was quite easy to learn this game, quite easy to teach this game. And the actual rolling for dice to unlock kind of clues and stuff, I thought that was really good. So the theme and the gameplay mechanics I thought married really well to make a very fun game. Alex, 2 things you enjoyed about it.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the mechanics, because the mechanics to me I thought were very quite simple, effective and fun. Especially with the theme married into it, as you've said. I thought it was very easy, so someone who doesn't play a lot of games, very, very easy to learn. And the artwork was just...
Chef's kiss.
2 chef's kisses.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ratatouille.
And also the other thing I really loved about it was the backstories. The kind of it builds into the aesthetics with this as well, because the font is the Curinu font, like a typewriter font. So each kind of character has that kind of case file on, and each ghost has the case file. There's a whole backstory to each ghost, which I thought was great, because it really makes it feel immersive when you're playing the game. It makes you feel like, oh yeah, what? You're on board. You're a proper film noir detective. It does feel like that, doesn't it? And the soundtrack. Comes to the soundtrack, which is...
The soundtrack is great, and you can find that on their website. And if I remember when I'm editing this, I'll put it in the link below so you can go, oh, what's a soundtrack? And the soundtrack, by the way, it's great for any kind of horror game, I'd say. It lasts for about an hour, doesn't outstay its welcome, and it's a nice kind of atmospheric background music you can have on loop, to be fair.
There is something else worthy of a mention. This is something along the lines of things I don't like. Now, I've got a real problem with things with the title of things that don't reflect. It's a whole rant, which I won't go into now. But Skeptics. I mean, it's quite clear there's a ghost terrorising the characters, so why call it Skeptics?
I think it comes down to the fact that maybe they're not... Maybe you aren't the skeptics yourselves as the characters, but there are skeptics out there, and you're trying to prove to those skeptics that these things exist. My character, for instance, said in their little introduction to it, it said about, I know you're a bit of a skeptic. But yeah, you're right. I think maybe up to the point you're a skeptic, and you maybe when the ghost appears, things are happening, drawers are moving or something. You don't actually see the ghost, or you see the ghost, but you're like, I'm not quite sure if that is a thing. So yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. The skeptics, though, to me, it does conjure the idea of paranormal investigators or people who don't believe in the supernatural, and you're trying to prove those skeptics wrong. Yeah, that was my interpretation.
Okay, fair enough. That's fine. Like I said, no big thing. It's just
no big deal.
No big deal. Just a little pedantic thing of mine when a title doesn't quite reflect what it says on the tin. But that's what it's a great game. I'm not going to slate it. It's a fantastic game. Really
this is a first impressions video. So we're just going to say if this is something of our first impressions. It's quite shiny and new, so when you play shiny new games, it's like, oh man, that's great. I want to keep playing it. Alex, would you say this is something as a first impression? Would you say, oh, definitely, I would love to go out and buy this game. I'd love to play this game more, so I get an idea of whether I should buy this, or actually, no, this game wasn't for me. That's the last one, right?
No,
you want to avoid it. You hate this game.
No, I'd avoiding it. It's great. I'd actually buy it if I could. So,
but you can't, right? It's
not really available. But if it was, I would buy a copy. And I really hope they do an expansion pack because I'd look forward to playing it.
Yeah, there is an expansion apparently in the works, which is Opera House, I believe. So fingers crossed I'll do second printing of this, because I will jump in here and say, yeah, this is definitely a buy for me. I'm actually culling down my collection from the massive collection you see behind me to a much more manageable size collection. And so when I'm thinking about buying stuff or playing stuff or avoiding stuff, I'm thinking about if this is something I would have in 100 games. And you know what? This is something I would say you should have in your collection if you are 100 games. If you like games which have got dice rolling, very luck-based, but really nice and thematic, I think that Skeptics is actually a really good addition to your collection. Yeah. I'm really glad I've got it. This is something I could play with my kids, this is something I play with my friends, and this is something I could play with randoms at board game cafes, and even maybe my better half if she's up for playing a game of something. Because it's easy to teach. Everyone knows the theme going into it as well, right? So you don't have to, it's not like really complicated mechanics or really complicated backstory. It's just a very well put together, sleek designed game.
Yeah.
But if you don't like dice, avoid like the plague. This game will not do anything for you. You could probably homebrew stuff. Yeah, you could homebrew. You could like get yourself some cards, but anyway, I'm not solutionizing game design here for a game that's already been made and it's really fun. So our first impressions, both of us are saying
bye.
If you can get a copy of this from somewhere, there might be some copies out on eBay somewhere, and like I said, there might be a second printing coming of this at some point. If you enjoyed this content, then please let us know in the comments below, because we have got so many different fun games we want to show you guys that we need to try and juggle what content we're creating. And if you do like this game and you'd like to see us actually do more of this, there's actually a story mode to this where you go through a series of kind of like hauntings. Your characters upgrade slightly, I believe, and there's a kind of an interesting story weaved in there. Not really story-based, but like there's a bit of a narrative going through. So if you'd like to see us conquer that, or just do some of the different, the 8 different kind of ghosts we've got with this, then let us know in the comments below, because if you don't, then I'll just assume that nobody wants to see any more of this, and we'll keep churning out some Shadows of Brimstone stuff, Skull Tales, all the solo stuff I do, and all the various other things we've got coming in the pipeline. So yeah, let us know, speak to us, and we'll see what we can do. Alex, you got anything to add? Just feel like I'd be waffling on, you're standing there.
I got nothing to add, no further comment.
So apart from TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, where can they find us?
Instagram.
Correct. So there's 5 different places you can find us. Where are they?
TikTok, Facebook. Oh, I just start with TikTok. TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
So I've been the ever excitable Adam,
and I've been the eternally intolerable Alex.
And until next time, stay safe or
die rolling.